Welcome everyone to today's CSIA Wednesday webinar series. My name is Colin Hammond and I will be your host today. From its start, CSIA was built on the principle of collaboration and with the goal to advance the industry of control system integration. In times of crisis, our members have turned to the CSIA community as a trusted source for advice and inspiration. In line with this, we have presented this Wednesday webinar series. Our goal is to help our community manage, survive, and hopefully thrive from the current crisis. We plan to cover a wide range of topics on coping and or leveraging the current situation and have SIs, vendor partners, and special guests present. For those of you who are unfamiliar with CSIA, we are a global nonprofit professional association with over 500 member companies in 40 countries. Our mission is to advance the practice of control system integration to benefit our members and their clients. Our vision is to ensure that manufacturing and process industries everywhere have access to low risk, safe, and successful application of automation technology. CSIA membership offers members access to resources needed to attain and exceed business goals. To highlight just a few of our many member benefits, the CSIA Best Practices Manual guides control system integration companies in the setup and running of a solid company. CSIA Business Insurance Program offers members an excellent insurance program for business owners, subcontractors, and more. The program includes members from all over the world enjoying the peace of mind that comes with CSIA insurance. Clients in all industries are now seeking integrators with the CSIA certification alongside ISO. They recognize CSIA and certified integrators' commitment to industry standards and business acumen. As a result, being certified can shorten the sales cycle. CSIA Industrial Automation Exchange is the premier automation guide featuring system integrators and suppliers who provide industrial, manufacturing, and process automation solutions. For integrators and suppliers, it's a place to market their expertise. Clients will find white papers, case studies, capabilities, contact information, and engage in conversation directly with CSIA members. Please follow CSIA's online events calendars for all upcoming webinars. That includes both partner webinars, business webinars, and this Wednesday webinar series. CSIA partner webinars are opportunities given to CSIA's industry partners to address hot topics and demonstrate their expertise. You won't want to miss these opportunities to learn from the comfort of your own office or home. And for more information about CSIA, please visit our website or contact us at info@staff.controlsys.org or 847-686-2245. And at this time, I would like to introduce our presenter, Pete Atkin. Pete leads the Samsara industrial business, building easy to deploy and easy to manage internet connected devices that allow industrial companies to connect their assets, visualize their operations, and optimize performance. Previously, Pete led a 700-person organization as VP of Worldwide Sales at Cisco Meraki. Pete helped grow Meraki from less than 100 million per year to nearly 2 billion. Prior to Meraki, Pete was a management consultant helping industrial companies gain business value through better environmental performance. Pete has a BS in engineering from Stanford University. And with that, I would like to pass it over to Pete. Welcome.
All right, good morning. Thanks, Colin. Let me just share my screen here. All right, good morning, everybody. And Colin, thanks for the intro, and thank you for having us on the session here this morning. As Colin said, I run the industrial team at Samsara. I'll give you a little bit of an intro into what we do, but really focus this session on the work that we do with water utilities, particularly maintaining operations in uncertain times. So better remote visibility, operating with limited staff, and ensuring that we can keep operations running and safe, clean water for customers, regardless of what's going on in the world around us. So just by way of agenda here, we'll do a quick intro to Samsara. We'll talk through some of the common challenges that our water utility customers see. We'll go over some of our solutions. I think the exciting part, I'll do a product demo, so you can actually see the product in action, talk about a couple customers, and then we will take live Q&A. So feel free to drop questions into the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. We'll keep an eye on those, and then I'll make sure there's time at the end for us to answer them, and we will follow up with anybody if we can't get to your question live. So Samsara was founded back in 2015 and is a company that focuses on connected operations. So we have business units that focus on vehicles and transportation and fleet management. We have our industrial business unit where we work with utilities, oil and gas, and equipment companies to monitor operations and provide industrial IoT and modern SCADA. And then we also have divisions that focus on worker safety and connected worker. So across the board, our mission is to improve the safety, efficiency, and sustainability of the operations that power our economy in terms of the customers that we work with. We have over 10,000 customers across industries with a big focus here on water utilities as well as oil and gas. Our product is a combination of hardware and software. And one of the things that really differentiates us from a lot of other providers in the marketplace is just the feature velocity and the speed of innovation. So by providing a cloud-based service, we can continuously come out with new features that continue to add functionality and benefits for our customers, even well after they've bought a product. One of the pieces within our industrial team that's incredibly important to us, and the reason we're here at CSIA, is the investment that we're making in our channel program and our channel partners. We recognize that in this industrial space, all of you have deep knowledge of the customers you work with, their automation systems, the integrations that are required, and the relationships to be successful. On the flip side, we bring a modern technology, very close working relationship with our product team, very close alignment with our sales team, and then free and available technical training to help all of you be successful. So our goal here is to make this a mutually beneficial relationship where we can help you grow your business, bring modern technology to your customers, and ultimately make your customers extremely happy solving the problems. So a quick view here of our industrial product set within Samsara. So as I mentioned, it's a combination of hardware and software really packaged together as a modern platform for SCADA, industrial IoT, remote monitoring and control. So we have a number of industrial controllers, a few different models. We have some sensors. We have HMI panel to connect to it. And then all of this is cloud connected. So as soon as you deploy one of your industrial controllers, you can immediately start seeing data on your phone, on a laptop, on a desktop. And this allows very easy connectivity to any device out in the field. You can get your data in, you can visualize it, and then we also provide alerting, alarming, and control logic so that you can act on whatever is happening out in the field as well. Now, all of you are very familiar with traditional automation technology. I'm sure you've seen a chart like this many times over in terms of just the different components from sensor through PLC, communication, SCADA servers, historian, and so on. The way we fit into this picture is by simplifying. There's sort of two common deployments that we see within the water industry. One is using Samsara as the sort of full end-to-end PLC and SCADA solution. So you'd have a Samsara gateway deployed, connected up to your sensors, whether these are flow meters, tank levels, what have you, bringing the data directly back to our cloud where you can visualize it, act on it, and then our devices here at the edge can run standard PLC control programs. The other way that we often get deployed is if there's existing PLCs in place, regardless of what those are, Siemens, Schneider, Allen Bradley, we can connect to those PLCs, So the control can be done by the existing PLC in place, and we can bring that data back and be an alarming service, the SCADA solution, as well as just easy mobile remote visibility. So there's a lot of flexibility in terms of getting deployed quickly, getting data for your customers, and giving them a more modern experience so they can see what's happening within their operations. Some of the benefits that our customers see from this cloud-based approach is really, it's a very cost-effective solution, extremely intuitive to deploy, manage, and operate, accessible from anybody, from anywhere. So whether you're on a mobile phone, on a tablet, on a desktop, there's no hoops you need to jump through, and no access limitations in terms of number of people that are able to see data real time. Very scalable. You can deploy one industrial controller, scale it up to thousands, and never have to invest in servers or backend infrastructure. And then it's compatible both in terms of being able to connect to many different devices out in the field, speaking most common industrial protocols, also have open APIs so that any data that you pull into our system is open and available, and you can sort of pipe that into any other business analytics or historian that you might be interested in. From an integrator perspective, I mentioned a little bit of this up front. We think there's a strong benefit in terms of growing your business and being competitive as the technology landscape changes. So this is a way to grow your market by having a new technology you can bring, making it much easier and much more cost effective to connect up assets that historically have been very expensive and hard to reach with traditional SCADA networks. With a cloud model, you can not only get services and deploy a new technology up front, but also makes recurring revenue easier to monetize from an ongoing managed service perspective or license renewal perspective. And then also just the ability to operate more efficiently by having easier remote visibility and remote access into your customers' operations. You can get not only get projects deployed faster with easy setup, but then your ongoing maintenance can be done likely with fewer hours. So you can be more profitable for any managed services that you offer in that regard as well. So let's we'll shift gears a little bit here and focus on water utilities specifically. Obviously, the platform that I gave a very brief overview to applies within water, applies in oil and gas, manufacturing, equipment as a service, OEMs, and so on. But we have a really big focus on water utilities, as I know many of you do as well. What we're seeing across the landscape of customers that we work with that I expect will probably resonate, and it's no surprise, right? We have water utilities working with limited staff, more so now. The challenge of being in many different places at the same time, aging infrastructure, and just dealing with sort of the constant strain of trying to modernize the infrastructure while keeping the water running, keeping it clean, and keeping customers safe. So a couple of the ways that we sort of see some of the big impacts. The first is just sort of capacity and responsiveness. So how does a water utility with limited staff make sure that they're prioritizing the right assets to spend time on, make sure that their operators are not wasting hours driving to and from sites for false alarms and so on? How do they reduce downtime and outages? The sort of preventive maintenance and sort of preventive signals to know that an issue might be arising before it does. And finally, just improving operational efficiency. So if customers are trying to reduce utility bills, for example, how do we give them better visibility into pump efficiency and a better understanding in terms of like what pumps to run, when, and how to optimize their efficiency from that aspect. So three things I'm going to focus on. One, how do we help them increase responsiveness? Two, how do we prevent outages? And then three, how do you maximize asset efficiency? So really sort of diving into those pain points that customers see. The first one is really this idea of mobile access. And this is something that, we live in the age of the iPhone. And yet most of our industrial technology is not necessarily caught up in terms of ease of access. So out of the box, we make it very easy to see dashboards, see reports, receive alerts, and be able to dive in and do analysis or change set points from a phone or tablet anywhere. And this is really one of the biggest pieces of feedback that we get from customers, is that it just frees up their staff from having to be in the office. It lets them be more effective when they're on the road, and they can make better real-time decisions about how to spend their time. This is something that's just natively available out of the box, no additional license, no additional configuration needed. And it's just a quote from one of our customers here at Southwest Water that I think is sort of indicative, right? If I can't physically visit any of our plant sites, I get the dashboard on my phone. It just takes the worry out of not knowing what's going on, being able to check in anytime. Second one is using historical data and obviously real-time data to prevent outages and get a better idea of what's going on with all of your assets and all of your equipment. So the platform has a built-in historian with unlimited cloud storage, provide 1-second data resolution. So you can have a very granular view of how your pumps, motors, treatment plants have been operating. You can correlate things. You can dive in and do rapid analysis to sort of compare between assets and over time periods, and quickly diagnose any anomalies that might be going on within your operations, and know what to focus on. Ben Murphy at Cobb Water, simply being able to sort of manage the voltages and amperages over time. They can go back and look at the history, and just lets them catch problems before pumps and motors burn out. It's not only saving the downtime, but also saving a lot of money from being able to do preventive maintenance versus reactive after the fact. And then the last piece I want to focus on here is just this ability to create and track custom KPIs and data points. So you can combine any input or tag coming into the system, apply custom formulas to it, and then see that calculated data as a time series data point, just like any other one. So within the water utilities, we see people using this a lot for things like pump efficiency, where you're bringing in the power and the pressure and the flow and so on, and you can get a real-time view of pump efficiency. You can trend it over time. You can compare pumps to one another. We also see folks using this for real-time energy efficiency or energy costs, where they are bringing in the power consumption and then they're bringing in the rate information from the utilities. And you can provide both real-time and sort of aggregated costs for individual assets, which has been a real eye-opener for a lot of customers, being able to get that data at the asset level, which is pretty cool. It's a very flexible set of formulas that you can use. All right, so I've given a bit of an overview here. There's obviously a whole bunch of additional features we could dive into. Let me just show the platform, and then happy to answer questions about it as well. So let me just flip over to a live view here. Okay, so what I'm showing here is our live dashboard. This is for one of our reference customers in Texas. This is a water utility with a few dozen sites. And just to sort of orient you to what we're seeing here, each of the dots on the screen is one of their assets. So in this case, mostly pump stations. And you can see if it's gray, everything is good. You can sort of scroll over it and see no active alerts. If there was an active alert, it would change colors, so you can immediately see it. You could click on this and it would take you to one of their dashboards for deeper investigation. Over here on the left, we've got our sort of navigation window. At the top, a couple sort of global views, so you can see all the dashboards in your system. You can see all the IO or tags coming into the system. See the map. Within the automation tab here, I'll show you in a minute, you can go in and see your control programs and the status of them running on each of the PLCs out in the field. You've got reports, and then you've got some ad hoc analysis that can be done. And then down here, we have each of our assets. So this is a asset tree. In this case, it's a flat tree of just all their pump stations. But for example, with their main plant, you can see that there's a few different assets within that plant to make it very easy to navigate and see what's going on. So from here, let me just show you some dashboards. We'll go into the alert platform, and I'll show you the automation platform as well. So if I take a look, for example, at the Dodge Ridge pump station, I can click on this, and what this will do is it will pull up my dashboard for Dodge Ridge pump station. This is real-time data, so you can see it refreshes every couple seconds. You've got tank levels. You've got a whole set of different gauges here that give you some of the data that you want to see at a quick glance. You know, this customer has a bunch of power failures, so just front and center want to get a quick idea, is the power on or off? And then we've got some adjustable valves here, so you can see the position, and right here from the dashboard, you can go in and change the set point for that valve if you need to. And then for each pump, you can get a sense, is it on or off? How's it running? Do you want to sort of adjust the mode that it's in, and so on. So these are entirely customizable. As integrators, it's very easy for you to create these screens for your customers. Come over here and hit edit, and it's a very visual platform that you can see. So whether you're doing this or you're empowering your customer to do it, you've got a number of sort of widgets over here. If I wanted to bring a new toggle button in, I could slide it in here, and it'll drop into place, and then I can configure it in terms of what data input, data output I want to give that. I'm going to go ahead and cancel that so I don't actually make a change. But you get the sense of how configurable this is, and how quickly this can let you set up powerful dashboards for your customers. We do have two types of dashboards. This is what we call sort of our grid or KPI dashboard. We also have a graphical or more traditional SCADA dashboard. Here's another pump station example where you might have more visual graphics like tank levels and so on. You know, here you can see the tank level currently. You can see what the trend has been, a high set point, a low set point, and sort of how that tank level has trended over time, discharge pressure, suction pressure. And similarly to what I showed you before, I can come in here, I can quickly edit this, and it's very intuitive. We've got, you know, a number of different icons and graphics and widgets. You simply drag them onto the screen. You can resize them as you like. You can assign the data point, and then you can set your alert thresholds and so on in terms of colors and whatnot. So we get a lot of feedback from integrators as well as from customers that the ease of use here is one of the big differentiators, and the fact that you can set up a quick dashboard for a customer, and then either your technicians or the customer themselves can go in and change that over time as they get a better idea of what they want to be using the system for. We found that very powerful. So that's sort of the dashboard view. Next, I want to give you a quick idea of some of the alerting. So you see this little bell up here. This takes you to the alert window, and you know what, over here, takes you to our alert window where you can see sort of active alerts. I can see configured alerts. So we get some alerts here for high tank levels, air temperatures, pump vibration, and so on. If I want to create a new one, I can create a new alert based on any type of data input or tag that I want. So in this case, I can pick you know, my data inputs over here, and then conditions I can set sort of low to high criticality. If you know the value is above, you know, equal to, not equal to, whatever you want to do here, and then I can add a recipient. I can notify just once. I can notify every minute, every 30 minutes, or so sort of some custom escalation here. And then I can do it by text, voice, or email. And I can set up an escalation tree such that if Martin doesn't acknowledge this within 30 minutes, it gets escalated to his manager, and so on. So it's a very sort of intuitive, easy to set up alerting tool with text, voice, and email alerts. Once these are set up, if I go take a look at an existing alert, So we had a high tank level earlier. We'll take a look at this. You click in, and not only does it give you the alert, but it gives you immediately the time series of that data point, so you can see the period of time during which it's been alerting, and you can understand the history of what's happened. Now, if you're out in the field, you get a text message or you get an email, and that text message has a link in it. You simply click the link, it brings you immediately to this page, which is incredibly powerful. So no longer is somebody getting an alert at 3 o'clock in the morning and having to drive out to the site to understand if it was a real issue or a false alarm. They can quickly see the issue here. And then if they want to do some ad hoc analysis, they can quickly bring in other data points. So maybe I want to look at, this tank level B. Maybe I want to look at tank level 1, just to compare as well over that time period. And you know what? Maybe it has to do with my chlorine flow rate. So let me pull that in and quickly correlate what's going on from your phone, from your desktop, before going out on site to know if this is the real issue that you need to deal with or not. We're seeing a tremendous amount of traction with our customers simply based on the ease of use of the alerting system, and the cost effectiveness of the alerting system, particularly for lift stations, pump stations, and remote sites where you can just deploy one of our controllers, immediately get this alerting system, and have a lot more peace of mind than maybe you did before. So we've talked about dashboards, we talked about alerts. We do have a number of different reports, so you can get data input reports, asset reports, and so on, where you can configure these however you like, and get those emailed out to your customers. So an example here is just like tank levels and set points. So you can select whatever assets you want. In this case, I can just see each of my tanks, the average tank level, the average set point, high and low. Quickly edit this if you want to bring in sort of different assets here. If you want to bring in different data points, and then you can set this up to be emailed out to customers, or you can embed it into a dashboard, or download the raw data. So make it pretty flexible to create reports. People use this for compliance reporting as well as just day-to-day operational monitoring. And then the final piece here that I want to show is our automation tab. So our industrial controllers are not only gateways to bring data in, they're also PLCs that support industry standard programming languages, structured text for the moment, and then building out some other support as well. So back in my Texas example here, from one of our reference customers, this is the automation tab. This customer is using the automation to control the valves, valve settings based on tank levels and based on pressure. So quickly, what you see here are all of the deployed programs. So these are across all the PLCs out in the field. You can see the programs running. You can see the number of PLCs this specific program is deployed on. So this one, this sort of 2-pump template, is deployed on 2 different controllers out in the field. The rest of them here are just deployed on one, but you can see exactly which pump station they're deployed at, and you can see when this program was last deployed as well. I have a number of templates down here. You can see if they've been deployed or not. If I want to click into one of these, what this does is just pulls up my actual structured text control program. Very clean interface here where you can see your program template that is deployed. And then for each of your devices you have out in the field, you can map your program variables to the tags or the data inputs on those field devices. So for the Chaparral controller, I have each of these mapped to the correct data inputs. So it makes it very easy for me now to say, okay, I have a new site. I want to deploy this program template. I can bring in a new device here, select the device that I want, do the program mapping, and then hit deploy, and it'll push this out. It'll push the program file out it will get stored locally, and it will run locally at the edge on that PLC. So these programs run irrespective of cloud connectivity, which is an important reliability and safety element. And they run locally, so they have low latency. And then you can make changes from the cloud, but that actually goes down into the device to make that change. So if you have questions about this, we can dive in much deeper. Anybody on our team would be happy to spend a bit of time talking about it. And then the last piece here is just the analysis tab. This is pretty similar to what I showed in the alert view, where you can basically bring in any data input that you want. And what you can do is you can compare different data points either on the same chart or different charts, and then you can also compare across time. So if I'm looking at what today looked like, maybe I want to compare the second data point from yesterday or the day before, so I can have two different time series going, or multiple time series going to compare and troubleshoot different trends that I'm seeing. So if I wanted to compare this week to last week, for example, it makes it very easy to do any kind of ad hoc analysis that's of interest. All right, that is a whirlwind tour of the platform. Happy to go deeper, happy to answer any questions folks might have. If you do have questions, please drop them into the chat window. I'm just going to flip back over to slides here for one quick minute. All right, hopefully that was helpful. It's always, I feel like it's one thing to talk about a platform, it's another one to actually see live customer data and just understand how that works a little bit more. So a quick case study here from one of our customers, as well as one of our integrators, just to give this a bit of perspective in the real world. Woodman Hills is a small water district in the West that we've been working with for a little while. And they're using Samsara to replace their legacy SCADA system. They had PLCs in place in the treatment plants that they have kept in place. And then they have deployed Samsara to get the visibility, real-time dashboards, alerts, and importantly, the mobile visibility, as well as control over their systems. They had a bunch of connectivity solutions with their prior radio network and a lot of comms failures. So we were able to solve that. And then we've made it very easy for them to add new dashboards, add data points anytime they put new instrumentation online, and just add to their system over time, which is something that they're very happy with. Before we got involved, this was sort of a traditional view where they have all their assets out in the field, a number of PLCs, a legacy SCADA network that they're having problems with, all of that coming back to a SCADA server, and then they'd have to VPN into that server to get access to it. With our deployment, they have directly connected our controllers to some of their assets. They've connected us to some of their Allen Bradley PLCs in places where they had those installed. All that data comes back to our cloud. They can access that immediately without any VPN required from our secure cloud. We did this project in partnership with Win-Marion, one of our integrators that we've worked with across a number of projects. There's about 1,400 tags across a number of different PLCs they're bringing in, 17 wells, 3 filtration plants, 2 transfer stations. For Win-Marion, using Samsara helped them get it deployed much faster, get it up and running, and get a happy customer very quickly out of it. So a couple other examples here of just how we've helped reduce costs, particularly in this environment where folks are operating with leaner staffs and having to do more remotely. Cobb Area Water District really came down to reducing labor costs. They spend a lot of time driving out across a pretty big rural area and just simply using it to reduce time on the road will pay for itself in less than 3 years, let alone all the other benefits. Central Texas Water Supply. This was the case study that I was showing you the live dashboard for. They just crunched the numbers and figured that it would just be dramatically cheaper for them going with a cloud-based SCADA than the traditional SCADA. given the need to buy computers, software, paying for updates, and so on. And then for Madera Valley Water, simply replacing their alarm system with Samsara saved them about $500 per month right off the bat, let alone the additional visibility that they saw outside of simply getting alarming as well. So a couple just specific examples in the words of our customers, I think can give you a bit of an idea of how customers are reacting to this technology. That should help arm you with some good talking points and ability to go out there and start some conversations. So before we jump into Q&A, just want to talk a little bit about our channel program. This is something that we launched about a year ago with the intention of being a 100% channel business, knowing that that's an important part of industrial automation, as well as just understanding the expertise that all of you bring to the table. So the way that we work, we have a sales team that does a lot of demand generation and a lot of outreach to customers to essentially create deal flow. So we'll bring leads, we'll bring opportunities, and we'll help connect you with folks that are interested in our technology. So introducing you to new customers, potentially new verticals. We've built out and are continuing to build out a lot of partner resources in terms of sales enablement, technical enablement. We have a program called Flywheel Training that is a technical training program for your technicians. It's free of charge, and it gets you hands-on with technology. And then we have a standard sort of resale and deal registration program where if you register opportunities with us, you get protected pricing on those opportunities, and then standard resale margin for everything else. The best way to get started is at this link below, partners-samsara.com, to get signed up, or just simply reach out, and any of our team would be happy to do a deeper demo, answer questions, and make sure that we get you comfortable with the technology. So let's switch gears and go to Q&A here. If you do have questions, please drop them into the Q&A. I'm just going to go take a look at that now, and we'll answer these live. Let me just pull this up. Okay, so we've got a couple questions here. Yeah, good question about security. So what kind of security do you use for unwanted access, such as hackers? Awesome question. Security is paramount. And I think there's a number of different ways of looking at this. So we have a whole site, samsara.com/security, which I'd encourage you all to go look at. And that really is sort of comprehensive from sort of the end-to-end security on the device, end-to-end encryption between the device and our cloud, which is sort of best-in-class modern encryption. And then from the cloud perspective, we have a dedicated security team. We do third-party penetration tests. We are continuously updating our security protocols and so on. We have SOC 2 certification. So similar security that you would see in any sort of top line sort of banking or other industry, because we recognize that importance. I think if you consider a lot of traditional SCADA systems, many of the security vulnerabilities come from human error. You have a lot of devices out at the edge. You have servers that are running old versions of Windows that they haven't necessarily had security patches applied to them. One of the benefits of a cloud system is that you can get real-time visibility into every device that is connected, and you can ensure that the latest firmware, the latest security patches have been pushed out, and know that there's a sort of 24/7 security team thinking about this, versus it being a device that's sitting in a network closet somewhere that people have forgotten about. Happy to go deeper on that one, but I'd encourage you to check out samsara.com/security. All right, another question here. Can you transmit a still picture or stream a video of a station? That's a great question. So we've got a couple different technologies with the technology that I've just been talking you through in terms of the sort of SCADA and monitoring. We don't have photos or videos at this point. We do have another business unit that is building out basically video, cloud video, so you can easily deploy IP cameras out at any location, whether there's network connectivity or not, and then pull that data back. We also have video solutions for vehicle fleets. So we have dash cams, so you can get real-time view of safety and sort of driving behavior as well. So if you're interested in that, reach out. I can get you in touch with one of my counterparts that does have some solutions for that. Okay. I have a couple questions here just about our partner program. Do all sales happen through channel partners? Yeah, within our industrial team, we have moved to a 100% channel model. So we have a sales team that will work with you hand in hand. They will help source opportunities. They can do demos. We have a technical solutions team that can help you do trials for your customers. But we do sell 100% through the channel for all our business going forward. So along with that, our sales team is regionally aligned. So you can build a relationship with a sales team or sales rep in your area, and just have a good back and forth in terms of customer knowledge, deal flow, and so on. Quick question about the flywheel training that I mentioned. We do have, so it's a one-day technical training. It is online. We moved, it used to be in person, we moved to online. And so the COVID era, and it seems to be actually working fantastically online. I think it's easier for folks to attend without travel. And the benefit of our system is that you can sort of log into devices and build your own dashboards and configure your own programs, even remotely. So we've got a great team running that. We run a session every week. And I encourage you, right down here, there's a link here, events.samsara.com/flywheel, to sign up for those. All right, let me see here if there's any last questions. Oh, a question here about connecting to third-party PLCs. So I mentioned in the Woodman Hills case study, they had Allen Bradley PLCs. So the question here, like, what are our options for connecting to Allen Bradley? So we support most of the sort of industry standard protocols. So Ethernet IP, Modbus, TCP, Modbus, RTU, in the process of coming out with S7 support. So the concept here is that we make it easy to connect to anything. We have most of the protocols, or most of the top level protocols supported today. If you're working with customers that have a protocol that is less common, reach out to us, and we can sort of add drivers over time as well, based on customer and partner demand. All right, that looks like it is it from a question perspective, unless anybody has anything else that they want to add. Hopefully you learned something from this. Hopefully this piqued your interest a little bit. Please do reach out. I would be happy to follow up with anybody that has specific questions, as well as get you in touch with folks on our team in your region. So Colin, back over to you.
All right, thank you, Pete. I'd like to thank everybody that joined as well. We hope you found the webinar informational. I'd also like to remind you to check out our events calendar for any upcoming webinars. And also this webinar will be posted in our webinar archive page. So that'll be on the ControlSys homepage under podcasts and webinars. That will be up there probably sometime tomorrow. And you can check out for any other webinar that you may have missed. That'll also be in that area. And with that, I would like to thank you again, Pete, and I hope everyone has a good day. Thank you for joining. All right, bye now.